You don't need 1 million followers to make $1 million. You need 5,000 followers to make $1 million. Welcome to the Growth Beyond Hustle podcast.
Today, we are talking about something that can completely transform your business. Welcome back to Growth Beyond Hustle. Today, we are talking about something that can completely transform your business, owning your expertise and positioning yourself as the go-to authority in your niche. Now, Kristian, why do so many coaches and consultants struggle to confidently claim their expertise?
Adrian, it comes down to two things: self-doubt and comparison, man. Many people feel like they need another certification, more expensive or a bigger following before they can call themselves an authority. And then there's the comparison, seeing what others in their niche are doing and thinking. And I'm not as good as them, is what they often say to you. But here's the truth: authority isn't given, it's claimed. And if you don't own your expertise, no one else will.
Dude, that's a freaking great point. And let's be honest, most markets are saturated, right? Especially the market near home on the weekend. It is pumping with good quality produce, mate. Hey?
I thought you were going to talk about the coaches and consultant market.
Well,
Dude,
of course, that's what we're talking about, right? So how does someone stand out and position themselves as the authority when there are so many others offering similar services?
Jab, jab, right hook is what our dear friend Gary Vee says. You stand out by owning your own unique perspective. No one has your exact experience, insights, or approach. And here's how you differentiate yourself. Define your core message, man. What's the one thing that you want to be known for? And clarity and clarity creates authority. Clarity creates authority. There's another quote for people to steal from me, right? Show your story. People connect with people. Your personal stories and your personal journey makes you relatable as well as memorable. And then I guess the other most important part is focus on results, not just credentials. Clients are more about the transformation that you create, right, rather than the degrees on your walls.
Dude, that is freaking powerful. The transformation. I've just got to pinpoint. It's got to point to that word there, transformation, right? That's what people are paying for. And so instead of just blending in with everyone else, you carve out your own lane. I love that, man.
Sweet, dude. Exactly. Authority is built when you confidently claim your space in the market instead of trying to compete with everybody else.
Dude, let's talk about confidence because a lot of people hesitate to put themselves out there. How can someone showcase their expertise without feeling like they're bragging?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because this is like so the type of question that I have to get given to ask.
Of course.
That's huge. Many people hold back because they don't want to sound arrogant. And here's how to showcase your expertise with confidence and authenticity. Teach, don't just tell. Instead of saying, I'm an expert in sales, share a valuable sales tip that proves it, right? In a previous podcast, that's exactly what we did, right? Like you're a master salesperson and you walked through people on that previous episode exactly on how to do a sales call. We're giving away value, right? We're showing you, demonstrating our expertise, okay, throughout this whole podcast. If you haven't noticed, then you might not be listening well enough. You might be fucking multitasking, right? So second thing you got to be doing is share case studies and success stories. Let your work do the talking. And then create high-value content. Consistently share insights through blogs, podcasts, videos, and social media following. And then I think the other thing is engage and educate, answer questions, host live Q&As, and provide value before asking for the sale. And before we go any further, I need to just let people realize something. You don't need 1 million followers to make $1 million. Okay? You need 5,000 followers to make $1 million, right? You need 2,000 followers to make $1 million, right? You don't need 1 million followers to make 1 million. If you got 1 million followers, let me tell you something, you're making 10 million, right? If not more. So when we sit there and do the comparison and, oh my God, look at this guy, like, or look at this girl, who gives a shit? What do you do that's different? Now, if you're just trying to copy them because you've got absolutely nothing that's authentic about you, then you are fucked, right? Then you get out of the game, go get yourself a normal job and live your life. Don't go following some fucking dream of being a motherfucking copycat, because there's people like you that we don't like, right? Or I certainly don't, right? It's like you've got to have something that's truly unique about you. Don't just go steal someone's model and then try and replicate it, because your stories, unless they're authentic and real, no one's going to engage with you, man. No matter how much chat GPT you use.
Dude, I felt like you just gave the jab, 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 and then just pounded.
Oh,
Come
that was
down.
my fucking right hook, bro.
Dude, that was the thunder. And I would also like to add to that is write that down. That is freaking powerful, dude. So it's not about saying I'm the best. It's about showing people why you are the authority.
100%. Authority isn't declared, it's demonstrated.
Dude, let's go a little bit deeper. How do you go from being known in the niche to being the go-to expert?
Wow. Okay. That's a really big question. So here's how I've done it, and this is how we teach people to do it. So I'm going to give massive amount of value right now. One, own a signature framework. Okay, absolutely. So package your expertise into a unique process that sets you apart. In our business, Growth School, business growth mindset, and one of our products is Growth School. There's no other program like it in the world, right? And how do I know that? Because I've been in like 10 programs where I studied them, and some of the biggest programs, and I found all the little bits that I really loved and put them into my own framework, which I already had, and I just needed to make the finer tweaks. And now the results are phenomenal. Their client results are excellent. We've even done a featured video on YouTube, which is a 10-minute doco on one of the events. We're planning on putting 4 of them together to turn into a 40-minute doco at the end of the year, right? So I am truly living what we're trying to say to you on the call. Demonstrate your expertise and let your customers do the talking. You sell your self-worth, you show your self-worth, you show your customer wins, they do the talking for you, and then you ask people to raise your hands, right? So what you need to do is, if you want to really stand out in a crowded market, in a red ocean, speak on stages and do podcasts, right? Visibility equals credibility. All right. Visibility equals credibility. Get in front of your new audiences and do it as often as possible. Number 3, really important, build strategic partnerships. Align with influencers, brands, or leaders in your space, right? You know, how many times have you seen all these coaches that pay, 10 grand for a ticket, sit at the front row, and then they go and have a photo with Gary Vee, with Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins. I mean, every time I see a photo like that, I'm just like, oh my God, are you serious? People fall for that shit all the time, right? And these guys have gone and they've dropped 10K just for that photo, right? People that have spent money to go and hang out with Grant Cardone, right? Just to have a photo. My team tells me, Kristian, you're really bad at this. Your friends are actually some of the, not those people, but other people, like it's a stratosphere underneath them. And I'm never in photos with them, right? Like I said, I mean, I was on a call with Alan Dibb, who wrote, the one-page marketing plan, and Taki Moore yesterday, right? Like, this is the kind of thing. Like, people sit there and like, you don't do that well, but that's because I don't need to use that leverage, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's up to you how you do it, right? But the other thing is charge premium prices, man. Pricing positions you. Low prices says beginner, premium pricing says expert, right? And what is it now? We've put a new price on our website. If you want to work one-on-one with me, which at the moment it's a wait list, it's 200,000 a year, right? Like, that's it. It's 200 grand, and you get an hour of my time a week. That's it. And people say to me, "Oh my God, who can afford to pay that?" Well, I have 5 people that pay that right now, right? And that's not just my one-on-one. Like, this is 5, right?
Yeah.
And the dilemma that we're at is that those people, like you said earlier, I have long-time customers. My customers don't leave, because I've made them more than that money in the first year for over 5 years minimum, right? Like, you pay for expertise, because it's like, like a plumber, right? You call a plumber, your whole house is flooding, right? And you've got a blocked pipe. Those guys turn up, they plug in a special machine. In 3 minutes, everything's drained and they're out the door. $850. The poor person says, "Oh my God, why am I paying you $850? You were here for 3 minutes." They're not trading time for money. They're trading expertise, man. So, my response, if I was that plumber, I would say, "That's cool. I'll block everything up again and I'll leave. And you can call someone else." Right? Like, you're paying me for the equipment I've got and the expertise. I know exactly where that blockage was. It wasn't just a big poop that blocked everything. It was a tree root. And my special machine goes in there, gets the video camera out and grinds it out for you, right? You couldn't have done that. You would have been sitting there plunging the toilet in hopelessness for hours. So what is the investment worth? And I think that's really important. So pricing positions you. Low pricing says you're a beginner. Premium pricing says you're an expert.
Dude, that is hilarious. That's a big one. So pricing isn't just about money. It's also about perception. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely, man. The higher your prices, the more people assume you're the best in the field. And let's be real, people don't want the cheapest coach. They want the best. I know, I've been there. I've always been a person that wants to give value. So I priced myself based on value, not what my worth was. My own perceived value was much lower than what my results were. And after 2 or 3 years and working with the right mentors, I quickly understood. And according to my mentors now, they still think I'm too cheap, right? They think our programs are too cheap. But I really do want to transform the lives of many people. Like, even our virtual assistant services at Growth Outsource, we get often told that, wow, you're so much cheaper and you manage everything. Like, you guys take care of all of it. You take care of 13th month. You take care of payroll. You manage them. You make sure they attend work. It's like, yeah, man, we built that business because that's the service we needed and we couldn't find it from other people. Boom.
Boom. Dude, I freaking love that. Mate, this all sounds good. Really good.
Just good.
Dude, very good. But here's the thing. I want to address the elephant in the room here. Right? No, I don't know. I think he's in your room and in my room, and it's called imposter syndrome.
Oh,
how do you push that voice that says, "Who am I to be the authority?" Right?
Adrian, even the world's best, right, need to deal with this. I won't go into it. We actually did a whole episode on this. Even on my own podcast, there's a whole episode on this. The story around when I became an adjunct professor, was awarded an honorary title at a Sandstone University, which pretty much says that you are the best, right? Like, that's it. That's why you're being awarded this title. But not only that, I was also the inaugural entrepreneur resident at a Sandstone University, where we raised $189 million in 12 months, right? Like, unreal. In my first 2 months, I thought I didn't belong there because of this thing called imposter syndrome. I had no idea what it was, right? And it is an elephant in the room because so many high performers, especially people with ADHD, don't believe they're worthy, right? Don't fucking keep telling yourself this lie. And so here's how you move past it. Stop comparing yourself to others. Focus on your own journey. The moment I focused on my own journey, I'd had like 62 businesses, right? By the time I got appointed that role. But yes, I had plenty of failures, right? Okay. I had shitloads of failures. I lost everything, right? 6 years earlier. So 7 years earlier. And I was still in a rebuilding phase. And so because of that, I didn't feel worthy because I was comparing myself to other people. Those startups didn't raise $189 million because I wasn't worthy. We put together one of the best mentoring teams and team members that delivered excellent outcomes. It wasn't just Kristian Livolsi. I'm one person, right? You've got to bring a team together to create something that's successful. So the other thing is you got to collect proof of your success. Keep a folder of testimonials, of results and positive feedback to remind yourself of your impact. Man, I was cleaning out my mother's garage about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I found, and I'm not shitting you, and it's not here, it's still at my mother's house because we were dumping stuff because she's moving. I found a tub, right? Like, those big tubs full of newspaper clippings of all the stories that I had been in. And this is before digital media. Like, I was a boss, man. I was in the newspaper every single, maybe 3, 4 weeks, right? About things that I'd achieved, things that I'd done. And we're not talking shitty little, my business, right? Like this is fucking proper newspaper, right? When newspapers were actually worth reading, not tabloid rubbish now where they just target people, right?
Mhm.
So, this was part of all of that. And it was great. I actually hadn't kept them. It was my ex-girlfriend who'd kept them.
Mhm.
When we broke up after 7 years, she actually, was 6 years, she left them. I hadn't opened this thing. And I was like blown away at the amount of stuff. And so now what we're going to do is Lucy, my wife, my amazing wife, she's going to put them together and we're going to start showcasing them on social media because those articles aren't up because they're pre 2008 before, like, people think the internet's been around forever. It hasn't. We've just been like addicted to what we get.
Yep.
Number 3, you got to actually act like the authority before you feel like one. Now, that's not fake it till you make it. Okay. Confidence comes from doing, not waiting around until you're ready. And that's probably the really big thing.
Dude, so instead of waiting for permission, you're stepping into the role now. Is that right?
Exactly. If you wait until you feel ready to position yourself in authority, you'll be waiting forever, man.
Yeah. Dude, this has been freaking I've got my tongue twisted. This has been incredibly valuable as always, brother. Now, before we wrap up, what are your top 3 takeaways for someone who wants to position themselves as the go-to expert in their niche?
Oh, that's hard, man, because I've really enjoyed this episode. Like, really, really loved it. I think also because we've been able to demonstrate how you show authority, telling the stories, linking them up, providing the evidence. So I think 1, claim your expertise. Don't wait for permission. Okay.
Yep.
Authority is built by showing up consistently and owning your space. 2, focus on results, right? Not credentials. People don't buy titles, they buy outcomes. And I think thirdly, and really importantly, visibility creates authority. Get in front of people through content, speaking, and strategic partnerships, Adrian.
Dude, this has been an absolute masterclass in owning your expertise. And I loved how you shared those stories about, your journey, documenting that journey over time. And if you're ready to position yourself as the go-to authority and take action today, right? Not
Today.
tomorrow, today, start sharing, start showing up, and start claiming your expertise today. All right. If you found this episode valuable, be sure to subscribe to Growth Beyond Hustle.
And if you need help, bring up your time so that you can focus on becoming the authority in your niche. I guarantee you our virtual assistants at Growth Outsource can handle the back-end work while you build your brand.
Boom. That's it from us today. See you in the next episode.
That's a wrap on this episode of Growth Beyond Hustle. We hope you got some real value out of today's conversation on protecting your time and energy. And remember, saying no isn't about shutting doors, it's about making space for the right opportunities. The more you set boundaries, the more you find yourself focused, productive, and in control of your business. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another episode. If you're ready to free up your time, stop wearing all the hats, check out Growth Outsource, our trained virtual assistants, and take those repetitive tasks off your plate so you can focus on what truly matters.